Is anybody here? Hey Lorenz, how's it going? Paul, what's up, man? Zoe, how are you? Give this a couple more minutes, see if other people show up. That's a nice little example. So I guess I'll just go jump into it because really it's not really meant to be a tutorial. I'm just playing around with this software. And hey Zoe, and yeah, this is a piece of software called Nodal, and it is an algorithmic composition. Happy Corona to you too, Lorenz. It's for algorithmic composition, so algorave and anything that is, you're making music based off of, this weird program. And I know this is like even further down the rabbit hole, but this is what I do with my life. So I guess we can kind of just get started on it, which is, I don't know. I'm just going to play around with it, I guess. I have it set up. I'm going to make some breakcore. So why don't we go, and I'll try to keep an eye on the chat with you guys if you have questions. This is just going to seem like so weird and random if you don't even, if you haven't really done any of this, which I doubt most of you have. But I'm just going to play with it. We're just here to hang out. There's no real point to any of this, is there? We're just chilling. And again, please ask me some questions because I would just love to talk about what it is we're doing here. But I think you'll start to hear it come together. It'll make more sense as we get further down the line. And this starts to actually sound like a song. It's going to sound weird for a little bit here, and then you'll be like, oh, weird. So, yeah, we're trying to make algorithmic breakcore. Oh, look, there we go. It's an amen break. So we've got an amen break that I've sliced up over in Bitwig, and it's just like Ableton. We've got all the little things sliced up. And if we play them all together in here, it sounds something like, what is that not playing? Oh, because this. Okay, yeah, so we've got that. But if you're anything like me, you like to make things a lot more complicated than they ever really need to be. And that's where this comes in. So the whole point of Nodal is that you are composing in this kind of 3D space. And with each one of these little dots, they've got different functions, but basically you have a signal that travels through these dots. And when the signal gets to the dot, then it sends out a note. So this is just connected with MIDI over to Bitwig right now. And basically, we'll start to hear it go over here once I turn this back on. And please say something if you're in here. Right now my thing is showing that I don't even know if anybody's in here. Zoe, that is this year's Bang Face poster. If you can believe it or not, I actually managed to get one home despite all of the chaos. Rolled it up really tight and put it in a t-shirt and got it home. So yes, my beautiful poster with the QR code. If you haven't scanned the QR code, there's some wink wink hidden tracks in there. But yeah, Yeah, so again, we're kind of just the whole point of this is that you'll see as it evolves, there's some really powerful things. And the thing I like about Nodal is that as far as algorithmic composition goes, a lot of the times you're kind of struggling to even be able to create a basic idea. Like there's so much learning that is like a kind of basic complaint I have about programs like Orca is a very interesting one. Don't get me wrong. I like playing with it. Um, but sometimes it's like you can't really actually make something that you want to make. Like you'll struggle forever just to get this idea out. And the whole point for me of using Nodal is that it actually, um, as things get more complicated, it can actually help you manage a really complex composition. Okay, so see now we're getting somewhere with our amen break here, and then so let's go and we need to turn up our BPM. Now where? Oh, there it is. Okay. Of course, we're probably gonna be. Let's do 160. We won't scare anybody off that way. So all right. And yeah, if you can see kind of what I'm piecing together here, I'm really all this is doing is so this little section says notes. This is the note. I think this is velocity and this is the duration, and it's just sending MIDI out to Bitwig, out to the Bitwig sampler. So like basically Chris says 155. We can do 150. It's gonna be like a little bit more old school. But yeah, it's just sending out MIDI to a sliced amen in Bitwig. And Chris, this is you're a drummer. You'll appreciate this. One of the most incredible things that you'll see as this gets a little bit more complex in the program is that you can actually use this to kind of like draw a drum loop and then handle like your fills. It's really crazy because you can. I'll show you how it goes. But yeah, as we go further into this, like one of the things I always struggle with writing is like kind of I'll detail one part and I want that one part to continue to be, I don't want to forget to detail it more basically. And yeah, so this can help you handle that. So it's one of the only algorithmic composition software things I think is actually like really practical in terms of music. So okay, so yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna turn it up BPM wise, dude. Sorry, but I just want the amen to sound a little bit more like it's supposed to. So there we go. We're gonna change this to D. Okay, so now we can go and add one note at the end, and then we're going to mute that note because we don't actually want this one to do anything. And we're going to connect it so the signal goes into that when it's muted. And then we go back this way. And I'm just going to draw this down here. And then we take with this. So the thing about Nodal too is that the space is actually time. And so you can see that as I'm drawing, it's like I think these are eighth notes. And then so then it would be 16th notes when it's two things apart. I really wish that the phone would auto scroll the chat, but it doesn't. But you know what? You can't have everything. All right, so let's see. Now this should loop when we play it back here. Okay, we're missing one beat, and actually we can just fix it by doing that. And yeah, I wonder. This should be. I feel like this is not fast. This should be a D. Maybe actually. Okay, sick. Okay, so you're starting to see like how you actually put a loop together. And just to show you again, well, yeah, let's just keep it like this for now. I'm going to draw it out this way. Actually, no, let's leave this right here. And I'm going to copy this whole section. Do I want to copy that section though? I don't know. Why don't we do this? I'm going to copy this part. And then this part. So now what you have to do in Nodal is these little triangles are where the notes come in. So if I put that right back down there, so now we have our little whatever you want to. So I'm going to go to here, copy, and do another one. And then we're going to connect the ends here. We want that to not be a whole 16th note or 8th note, whatever that is apart. So bum, 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 bum. Okay. And then let's just copy, copy, copy. Okay, so, and then connect these, and then we'll have a little snare roll at the end here. Okay, so, and then we're going to do this same thing where we copy this little one down at the bottom. All right. Elliot, how's it going, man? How's Newcastle treating you? I hear things are great up in Newcastle. All right, so we're going to connect this to here, and then we're going to connect this one to here. We're going to make it into a wormhole again. And if you're just tuning in, don't expect to probably have any idea what I'm talking about, because this is just too esoteric for life, really, at all. So, but if you're bored, it's something to watch, and you'll see it come together, which is pretty cool. It's a good program. So, again, if you want me to try to explain some stuff, just ask, and I'll try to keep an eye on our chat here. So, all right, so I'm going to take this, I'm going to turn it into a direct. And again, like I mentioned earlier, you have time and space in the nodal universe are one. They are the same. Now, that means that if you have a line connecting to these dots and they're like 4 units apart, then that will happen half as fast as one that's 2 units apart. But when I'm clicking these and I'm turning them into what's called wormholes, that's instantaneous transport. So I'm doing that so that way I can just kind of link things together but still have them pulled apart. And then now, here comes our little secret. So I can now that I have 2 wires coming out of this node, I can actually make it so that way the first 3 times it goes through this orange wire, and then the 4th time it goes through this green wire. So if this works, what's going to happen is we'll hear this whole section up at the top repeat 3 times, and then the section at the end will repeat the 4th time. So let's see if we worked right on that. Okay, so that is not acting like it's expected to, and that's, you know, it's disappointing, to be honest. Okay, so you gotta get the basic idea here. I like where this is going. I'm happy with it. You know, we've got an amen looped now, okay? So now what I'm going to do is I got to go back into Bitwig, and I got to set up another instrument. So going back into Bitwig, and I'm going to delete this drum track that we have on there, and we're going to make some kind of like old school stabby kind of you know, ravey, get a rave stab. I'm assuming that you guys can hear all the audio, hopefully. I don't know if you can hear this part. But basically, I just want not, no, that's not what I want. God, stop. Okay, there we go. There we go. I want these guys. Like a nice, there we go. All right, let's do that one. So we're going to rename that stab. And then now we have, I should be able to, and I'll make that so we can play it. I don't like that stab. Okay, I want to do this one. And again, like, you know, we could write this into Bitwig and just play it from here, but I have to make everything in my life more complicated and frustrating than it needs to be. It's just a personal habit. And so that's the entire tutorial in a nutshell, is how to make everything worse when it could be simple, how to make it unsimple and you know, kind of make you want to cry, you know, give up. I think that's kind of the general idea. So now what we're going to do is we're going to mute that break for now, so you don't have to listen to this the whole time. And we're going to go and set up our instrument number 2. Now this is the instrument manager in Nodal. And we're going to go to IAC driver bus 2. The IAC driver is a MIDI bus on OS X that allows you to send MIDI between programs. Now, I don't really know why. Okay, here we go. Yeah, we can change the instrument. Okay, so now see if I press a space bar, I'm getting that to trigger. And we're going to start doing basically the same thing over here. I hope you guys know that, Chris, I am joking about making it more complicated. Like, yeah, it's more complicated at the beginning, but I think that it's what it'll really help you to do that I always have a problem with when I'm composing is like seeing the base structure of things with just then being able to see the fills without having to remember where all the fills are. Like, that's the whole point. Okay, so now we're like starting to play around with this kind of pattern here that's based off of this stab, and we're gonna set up one of these same loops. And actually, why don't we do something cool? Yeah. I think maybe we want to do this is that we can actually just set this up in a literal loop, which is a really neat thing. And then you'll see how the time thing kind of comes into play. Because if we do it like this, I think that time should take a whole measure to go all the way around. Okay, and so now let's see if this works. Okay, yeah, it does. Maybe move that there. Kind of want to go for that. We want to do that. I guess it's called a clav, I think. Okay, well, whatever. We can unmute this one. Oh, no. See, we might get some. Now we're starting to get too many. We're getting problems over here. I think the problem over here is probably that, yes, we have all ins enabled. Classic problem. So we need to separate our tracks based off the IAC driver, because now it should only play the right instruments. But of course it doesn't want to do that, because why would it do it right? Why would we ever want to do things the right way? Okay, IAC driver bus 1. Take this. Okay, let's mute this one and go. And so that's like pretty cool anyways, right? I mean, it's just cool that it's doing that. Okay, IAC driver bus 1. Okay, and then now it's like I don't even have any MIDI. Like, why don't you should make up your mind, dude, over here. Okay. And then, oh yeah, we got it. Okay. There we go. We got our amen working again. Okay. Good stuff. Check the comments here, see what you guys are saying. Clave. Thank you, Chris. A clave. And correct me if I'm wrong, a clave would be like that dotted eighth note pattern where the dun 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 dun. I mean, that's kind of my impression. I don't know if that's overly simplistic of the whole thing or not. But thank you. I'm like really glad that we're all in this together and we're all learning from each other. So, all right, now hopefully when I unmute our little guy over here, we can hear him do this thing. He's gonna do the stab on this one, and it should be the amen on the other one. And now hopefully they line up. So all right, we're gonna see. All right, count of 3. 3, 2, 1. Okay, sweet. Yeah, that's actually, see, it's, oh my God, it's turning into a song. It's turning into a real song. All right. Now, again, this is all about different ways of doing things. So let's see. What I wanted to do and what I'm trying to do here is I don't want this stab to be, and I'm going to mute the amen over here again just for a little bit. I don't want the stab to be that long. I want it to be staccato. And so when I'm selecting all these, I can go back into this note editor here, and I can edit this value right here. That's 50%. Okay, so let's see. Dun 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 dun. Okay, why don't we get rid of that? And so it's just like this. Okay, that's cool. Yeah. Now I think we can do this over here. Now we all have these going on the same note, right? Now I can click this one, and instead of doing a C, I can do a G, okay? Okay, now I think if I do, if I copy this, and then I paste, and I paste, and I paste, does this work? Let's see. Or do I have to add? I think maybe if I add another one of these things. Sequential, let's say new, tangerine one. Does this change the other one too, or is it just that? Okay. Well, let's see. Because what I want to do is try to take again advantage of this thing with the fills. So, and again, Chris is right. It's a repeating pattern specifically noted in Latin music, bossa nova, Afro-Cuban. Okay, cool. That's what I thought. That it's like 5/4 sounding. That's, getting the chills just thinking about that. Down the rabbit hole. But that's what we're doing here, right? We're exploring. I hope that this is entertaining for everybody at all levels of knowledge with music. Maybe we can just make it sound like music again for a second and just not be. Oh, wait, you gotta line it up. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to, I'm just going to copy this, and I'm going to take this structure over here, and I'm going to do this same mute trick. So I take a muted node right there, and I take it, I connect this to it, I connect this one to our new structure, I make it into a wormhole, I make it into a direct line so I can see it. And these direct lines, yeah, they help you see it. If this was not a wormhole, you would get some really funky timing going across here. But because it is a wormhole, you get to just see it. So, and then again, I don't understand why exactly. Like this one, the 2-to-1, I thought this should go through twice and then on the third one go over here. But for some reason it's going on the fourth. Anyways, let's just concentrate on our stab section for now. So got all these notes. I'm going to select them all. It doesn't seem to like that. Oh, that's because we maybe have multiple notes or something. So I'm just going to go and copy this and then paste it into all these and hope that works. The other thing is I need to get rid of this guy. Okay. And like again, this thing, now we want to change this. I'm going to try it again. I don't understand why that's not working, but okay. Anyways, I'm going to change all these notes to be C number 4. So like if I'm doing this right, then the fourth time, it should be the first 3 times that you play through this section, it'll do this one, and then the fourth time it should go back there. And then we need to have another one of these wormholes that go back to our original section. And this one actually does not need its, because this one always will go to this new section. So, all right, we're going to take this, take it here, make it into a wormhole, make it direct. Okay, now let's try her out. There we go, see? then now that like that count is off though, so see, it starts to get a little complicated. I'm a little. I think I'm having a little stage fright as far as my perfect logic on controlling this, but you see the point. You see the point. Like, this is complicated, but at the same time, if I can get these fills under control, this is like a whole section to a song just here. And then I can have one of these things that says, okay, the last time, this plays 4 times through, and then I go on to a new section. And then you can actually start to compose whole songs in this program. Again, this is really a great program. The full version is like $60. You don't need another MIDI program in order to use it. All you really need is the program itself. It's got some synthesizers built in, but I like to use it to control Bitwig. So let's listen to our product so far. Okay, so this is like a little, it's mismatched. You can hear that it's not, I'm still really bugged as to why this one isn't working. So let's see if we can figure that out. So it should be, okay, so yeah, I don't know why that one's not working. Why don't we try the same thing on this one and see if they line up. I'm going to mute our break again here. And let's see. How you guys doing in the chat? Still got some attention here? Cool. Was like wondering if I should put background music onto making the music, because it's just me talking. But I guess, what do we all have to do right now except for just chill together, right? And I'm getting to show you guys all my cool projects and whatnot. It's great. Okay. So yeah, let's reset this, and then another thing is we can put on, this is perfect, show the node counters. So if I do that, it shows you how many times the note has traveled through each one of these. Okay. So now it's lining up. So this 2 and then 1, I don't quite get why. Okay, but anyways, we got our logic, which is that this plays twice through, and then the third time it goes, well, it plays, is it twice through? I don't know. Let's listen. Now the breaks and the stab should line up. Oh, if we restart it correctly. No, see, it's okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not 100%, and now this is really embarrassing. I was like working on this the other day, and I didn't have, I felt like I had it all figured out. I understood everything, but I mean, this is what we get for going live. Nothing's ever perfect live unless it's unless it is perfect. So. Oh, you know what? It might be. Let's see. Okay, so. I wonder if it was because I'm assuming my stop button shortcut is working that I usually use in Bitwig. Okay, so we have there's something like a weird, yeah, is either a glitch in the program. Oh, you know what? I changed that one to parallel. There we go, we got it. Okay, so that node was parallel outputting. And so it was splitting, and then, yeah, and that can be useful at other times, but, here we are. Okay, so let's do another thing. I want to work on another fill for this break, and this is, again, kind of one of my favorite little things about it, is that we can do things, we can add like one tiny little thing that will happen only every, you know, every 8 or so plays through, and then we're kind of golden in terms of our like adding like non-repetitive complexity, so that way it's like fills again, like drum fills. And so what I want to do is there's a note that is the ride stop in the amen, this one. What note? Okay, so that's going to be, looking at this, it's A, that's going to be our G sharp. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and connect it to this one, and I'm going to say to this node, okay, every time, yeah, this is again sequential. Every other time you're going to go down this way, and every first, third, fifth time you're going to go that way. Now it gets a little tricky because you have to make sure that like our timing in terms of space is going to line up. I think this should do it. And again, we have this kind of little wormhole thing going on. So if I go, what I think every other time we get this second section, it's going to go and it's going to do our ride stop. And then it's just going to kind of pause. And then it's going to hit this muted one and go back to normal. So let's go to here, turn it into a wormhole, and then put it on direct. And then let's mute our, well, there's no real reason to mute the thing. I'm going to do a bass line if we can get this one to work, and then we'll kind of hear the whole song gel together. I'm also going to save my work. I'm going to hit the save button. Hopefully it doesn't crash. Yep, we're good. Okay, so now we go and stop, and then let's hear it. Okay, so like it kind of did it, except like it really, yeah, I mean it did it, but it is, we're missing, I think, a beat. It like didn't go far long enough. So let's see, I think. So I think there, yeah, we're getting a little okay, so yeah, now the timing lines up. And again, I don't like where this is. So I'm going to move it, and then I'm actually just going to select this and say that flip the city block, which means it'll just do that. And then when I do that, I need to compensate time in that way. So, and again, I don't, this stab is cool, but it's a little, we guess we can, I kind of want to change it to a different stab, actually. So why don't we just let this play, and then I'll go play with some stabs. Okay, that sounds a little off, doesn't it? Now the thing about it is, and you can kind of tell, I've noticed this with the program, like it is a live program, and so basically, yeah. How about, yeah? I'm seeing a question from Cat Dog and Bobby. Hey guys, good to see you. This is probably a good time to just check in about what exactly the heck is going on here. So this is a standalone program for algorithmic composition called Nodal, and right now I'm just using it to send MIDI over to Bitwig. So I've got 2 MIDI channels right now that are going into Bitwig, and I am setting up these loops in Nodal and just controlling them. And so you see this orange one is our amen, and this green one down here is the stab that's kind of going on in the song. And yeah, so this is it's just basically like, it's an interface for composing. I like it because it can kind of allow you to, I know it looks like way friggin' complicated, but if you get used to it, it's actually really not that bad. It does take a lot of playing around. And maybe after we kind of get to a point where I want to finally add in a bass line to this, and then we kind of have a real idea of a song. It would be nice, again, to figure out, I know there's a way to do this where like it will change the note that is going through on this stab. And so maybe we can just play with that a little bit and figure out. So yeah, that is cool. Yeah, there's a way to make it so that it will like change every time and do some different stuff. I don't know if like, I don't think that's gonna do it. I think this is only controlling the that's cool. I like that little semitone. Okay, why don't we go and do another ending for this stab here, and we're just gonna do like a chromatic descending. So I'm gonna go kind of change this one by one over here. So it's starting at C4, and then we're gonna go down. So it's gonna be B3, and then we're gonna have A sharp 3, and then we're gonna have A3, and then we're gonna have what it comes after. Okay, A sharp, A, and then G sharp, and then G. G sharp 3, and then G. Okay. And then what we're gonna do is we have this set up. Okay, yeah, perfect. So we can go and we can connect this one to now. We can connect this to the input of there, make it a wormhole. We take it and we make it direct. Okay, and then we set up this one. So now this one will switch every other time it gets hit, and then we got to connect it back to the beginning to make it into a loop. And then we should be good here. Wormhole, make it direct. All right, so then it'll do this 3 times. It'll do this one. It'll do this another 3 times. It'll do that one. It should just keep going forever. All our timing should be good. Let's see if that works. Nice. Okay, so now we have our two, I guess the term would maybe be like our codas, but again, this is why I say this is actually good for writing. I know like it's probably seems way too complicated, but the fact that I can start setting up like baseline things that'll repeat 3 times and then go into like a different thing 4th time and then an 8th time and then a 16th time, to me that is like super invaluable. So let's bring in the amen with the whole thing one more time and see how it all sounds. We should have like a nice now like 16 bar loop that we've added in these little ending coda sections so that you get a little bit of variation at the end of each one. So let's check it out. We have a little error, I think, in here in terms of our timing on this one, but we're close. This is one of these things that, as you're working on it, you'll play around with. All right, yeah. So again, if we're looking at this, yeah, there's the time is related to the space, and so if we're going down this path instead of that one, we've taken an extra step this way. So maybe it means that, right? Because if we were just going straight, I think this would be time, and then okay, so we've got a timing error in there somewhere. I don't know, again, at this point, if I really blame the break or if I blame the stabs, because we didn't really, I mean, this one sounded right. Why don't we go through, and bonus points to anybody who can give me maybe a little tip, and they can look at the math and say, okay, if we're going here, why don't we do it? Okay, so if we're going to here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces of time, right? And so if we're going from here, we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so this should be right. Now let's listen to the break and see if the timing adds up. Okay, yeah, that adds up. And again, you know, unfortunately, nothing's perfect, and there's always a little chance of timing errors in terms of the actual program itself. I've recorded the MIDI from it before and then looked into Bitwig, and the timing's off, but it's not off so much that you couldn't actually record it into another program and then just like correct the timing and then just get like your actual, you know, composition data out of what's going on. So fingers crossed, I think we got it this time. Looking at all of our logic here, let's listen. If it loops correctly after 4 times, then we're going to go add a bass line. Yeah, all right. Okay, sweet. Okay, that makes me super happy. Now we are going to add a third instrument. And what we're going to do is, well, first of all, we need to go back into Bitwig. Hey, Aaron, how's it going? Sam, how's it going? Mark, I hope you guys are all having a good time in your lockdowns, in your respective quarantizzles. Okay. And so, yeah, I'm going to go back into Bitwig here, and I'm going to grab myself just some kind of synth. I'm wondering if they have a good Reese. You know, a Reese is that like kind of drum and bass, kind of like real growly thing. That's not really what I want. I think that's one I made before, kind of your hover. Let's see. Hopefully this is good. Otherwise, we'll just get a basic bass. Okay, that's totally not what we're looking for either, but there might be a good one. I don't really want to turn this into a sound design tutorial at the moment, so we're just going to kind of we're going to see how quickly we can just get a nice bass sound in here. Go here, click heart. Why don't we try this one, see if it works. Change this to... No, that's not a good one either. Dubstep growl, maybe. We really just want something that we can write a simple melody with. Like, we are so close to kind of being into a whole sound. Sam, so the program is called Nodal. It's Nodal. If you just search for Nodal music, you can find it. Let's see. You know, how hard is it to just get a normal bass, like just... You know, 50% of drum and bass is just the bass, right? Like, I don't want a neuro crazy, you know, it's funny, right? Okay, maybe we can even just do a sine wave. But then if I do a sine, if you don't have, you know, subwoofer, oops, sorry. Oh, man, all right. Like, come on, guys, let's see. This is probably not a good one either, but we'll just keep trying. That's what it's all about, right? Is just keep trying till something works over here. So, once we can get our simple bass in here, we can go and I wonder if I just search for saw. If we do some saw, yeah, a saw. Default unison saw, this is what we want. There we go. Oh, perfect, okay. All right, so now let's go back and play our pattern as we have it so far over here. Oh, sorry, and we need to turn off all the notes coming into this pattern over here. We're just gonna turn on the computer keyboard for the bass. And so we can go and listen to our composition. All right, so I'm gonna work out what the bass line I want it to be on the keyboard, on the computer keyboard here, and then we're going to add it to Nodal, and then we're gonna just celebrate when it's done. I'll probably end this cast. I'll probably just go through a couple of the default examples once we have this done, just to kind of give you another idea of some of the cool stuff this can do before we log off. So, all right. So we want our bass line to be like, I'm going to make such a simple bass line just so that we can kind of round off everything that we've done here. So B. So that's going to be B0, B1. A sharp 1, and then G. All right, so B, B, A sharp, G. Okay, so let's see. Now I've got to add another one of these inputs, and then let's go over here and go to our tools. Well, we want to bring up this inspector box is what lets you kind of change all the settings on everything here. And then we're going to go to instrument number 3. We're going to make a new instrument, and then we're going to have this one go through the IAC driver bus number 1. Okay. Or no, I'm sorry, number 3. And then we need to change this note input so that it's on instrument number 3 over here. Very good. Oops, that's the wrong thing. And then we need to change our track over here so that it's going to take the MIDI input from this one. All right, so then if we go over here, and I'm going to mute. It's totally not intended. All right, so I guess that's breakcore for you. Okay, so I don't know why that's happening, to be honest with you. Now this one should be outputting to our instrument number 3. Okay, perfect. That's what we want it to do. So, and then we want to take it down to this. I think we said it was B0. Is that? Okay, yeah. So now I'm just going to make this super easy, and we're going to just do that 4-note like progression like we just said. And then now we just, again, have to separate this in time. And this is another one of the cool parts I like about this program. So to know, we want this bass line to hit every time like one of these sections or these sections repeats. And we can just count and see, okay, so that means it needs to be 8 of these total squares apart. And then it'll do it. So we go, let's see. We could do it. I was going to be basic and extra and loop it around the whole thing because I thought that was kind of cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. We loop that. I think, what did we say that progression was? It's BB. Is it A sharp? B, A sharp, G. Okay. BB, A sharp, G. Okay. So then now we've got that. We've got these should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 apart. Perfect. I'm going to copy this one, and then I'm going to go 8 down. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6. And then I think we have to just keep dragging this down in order to see further. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to assume that's far enough. We'll find out in a second here. And then we'll just drag, actually, yeah, this one down to here. Move this back over, or else we're going to get a little bit of extra time. And then we're going to change. Sorry about that. change this note. Yeah, it's I got the Rona. We all got the Rona. All right. Shore inspector. It's going to be A sharp. Okay, I think that's coming in a little early. This should be B1. And then we're getting ready to celebrate what we got going on here. Because we are almost done. Okay, and then we said G. Okay, we go back over here, make it parallel to this one. We show our inspector, and then we go to G1. Okay, coming down to it, guys. We're getting ready. We gotta just connect this one, and then we'll connect it back up to the top to make them loop. And then if we are lucky, we got it. All right, moment of truth. You guys ready? Oh wait, we gotta unmute these ones. And then we'll do a nice little exciting countdown and see if we really got it figured out the way that we want to have it. All right. All right, on the count of 3. 3, 2, 1. Guys, that's our little lesson. Turned out really cool. We got our little song going. All right. I ironically have absolutely no idea how this like funny extra little break or this stretch snare rather is coming in. It's like really kind of emblematic and funny of the whole thing, but yeah, so I think I'm gonna call it at there. I'll leave it to you guys if you want to explore. Again, the program's called Nodal. You can download it for free. Full version is $60 and it requires that to save. So that is it. I'll just let this play out for a second and then I'm gonna stop the stream. So thanks for tuning in, y'all. Take care.